Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again. And I got this message again for the poor people, especially, but for all people. In the United States of America, the Congress, they've been talking about the economic package. They've been talking about the taxes and how they're going to rearrange it and this and that. What they're basically saying is, and it is refreshed on the president's face when they said we're going to find some ways to take some more money from the people who we have given so-called entitlements to. We're going to restrict that some. We're going to cut some other situations because the richest of us need a little bit more. We need just a little bit more. And so we finally going to get a chance to do that. We got a president who once stated, and I'm going to paraphrase what he said, it's like if you take a group of people and you set it right before an island. And this island has got all kinds of resources and things that people might attribute to wealth. And you put this group of people right across from that, maybe separated by some water, and say, it's vacant, you guys do what you want with it. Now, some of the people might speculate when they go across, they're going to try to go around and identify all of the resources that's on the earth, try to gauge it whatsoever, and try to work with it in such a way that it could really benefit everybody. Now, that would be the mindset of some people. Some people would say, well, get over there and let the strongest and the fittest take it. Get everything you possibly can, wrap it up in your arm, put a lock and key on it, and it's yours. Whether it's on the earth, above the earth, or in the earth, just lock it up, it's yours. And attribute that to being the way that you're supposed to act. Now, there's no right way, and there's no wrong way. When you look at it like that, people got their own ideas about it, and they're not responsible for that. It is what it is. But here's the key. You look at that type of response, and you study the consequences of it. One, you can find that you can actually have peace. You can actually be prosperous in your living. Not only that, you can be joyous as well. On the other hand, you're going to start some crime and violence. That crime and violence is usually going to be predicated on the fact that since you grabbed everything up, now you want to make some laws that prevent those people who didn't get anything because you grabbed it all up from coming grabbing what they can from you. So you're going to make laws for that. Make jails, put people in jail for trying to get it back. Isn't that something? But that's what the president, that's what he's about. That's why he says, and I paraphrase that for him, that when you go out there, it's not everybody trying to make it. It's dog eat dog, and may the strongest and the fittest get it. That's basically what he's saying. And that's, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. But the consequences of it is crime and violence. It's terrorism and war. It's lying, cheating, and stealing, and killing. All of that stuff takes place when you're grabbing it. That's why the poor exist. The poor exist because their attitude has not been to grab it. Their attitude has not been dog eat dog. When you look at the middle class, they might have been here once with the poor, but they stepped up because they decided to change their way. They decided to go after that, putting their arms around it. And they begin to allow themselves to be used by those who put their arms around it. They get rewarded for that. And they keep struggling because they want to get up there too. That's another thing that this president, as I can perceive, was his motivation. There are people that's much more wealthy than he is. And that disgusts him because he figures that everybody that's wealthy are liars. They are no good, cheating dogs. That's the way he sees wealthy people. He sees them that way because that's the way he is. Now, I'm just saying, I'm not putting him down. I'm just giving some realities. And he figures, why should he be any less wealthy than they are? When they are no good, just like he's no good. And they're all no good over dummies like us. Over dummies like us. And we're not really dummies. We just believe in a different kind of way of doing things. Our problem is we lack motivation. We looking for a deliverer. We need somebody to lead us. And the reason we need somebody to lead us is because we're traveling down roads that's not traveled that much. Reason, people who travel this road, especially the leaders, they are all killed. They are killed. It makes it seem sometimes that I'm talking to the poor people when I think about stuff like this. It makes you, if you can believe in the Bible stories, to say that man was once in a spiritual world, and that the decree has been and stated that if you defy those precepts that allows you to exist in this physical, in the spiritual world, you will lose it. And that is by violating through the process of following some principles of a different world. And apparently that's what happened because we are not in the spiritual world in this form. We're in a physical world. And it also, if you accept that premise, it also suggests that the reason that poor people exist because they don't feel connected here, they don't feel any drive whatsoever to go at dog eat dog, and they really are expecting somebody to come and change the world or deliver them from this. They really believe that their place is someplace else. And that's basically, if you accept the analogies I just used a moment ago, that here is where we have to make that other decision. We're talking about two different worlds. We're talking about a material world, we're talking about a spiritual world. We're talking about a physical world, and we're talking about a spiritual world. Now, if we're saying that we, for whatever reason we got over here, apparently we violated, and we recognize that this is not us, whoever us might be, probably the poor, because I tell you, baby, rich folks have made their choice. Their God is Caesar. Their God is money. The middle class have basically made their choice. They are reaching anything they could do to get up there. They'll get up there in a heartbeat. And many poor people, you dreaming too. You walk around with your head looking down, hoping that you can find a bag full of money. Every last one of you hope you can find a bag full of money. Why? For the same reason that everybody else is trying to get up there too. And it just makes it seem that the reason that the leaders of the struggle for equality gets killed is because they're really the only ones that really knows the truth. They're the only ones that know the benefit of it. And they know that getting killed is a following of that. The day you violate this rule, so does that same rule exist over here. The day you violate this material rule, when you start trying to bring in some straightening up this situation, when you start talking about some justice and some prosperity and peace for everybody over here on this side of the world, you got to go. That's what the world says. That's what I'm hearing. That's what history is saying. Everybody over on this side in the material world are slaves. Everybody are slaves. Even those who riding on the high top of the mountains are slaves. They are slaves to a situation that leads to death, that leads to pain and suffering. For most people. Now, for a few of them, it's right on, right on. But there's no peace there. That's why they keep building towns and cities underground, because the hell that they're creating. But it makes it seem, back to what I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, it makes it seem as if that's the whole mission. The whole mission is to wake up, realize where you're at, realize that there can be no peace where there is not justice. And where there's no justice, there's not supposed to be peace. People talking about, well, can't we just get along? If there's no justice, you're not supposed to get along. Don't you know that the Almighty Creator God demands justice? He don't want no partnership with injustice. There's no partnership with injustice and justice. Justice is peace. No justice is hell. Supposed to be. Why do you think everybody got weapons? Because they know that. Why do you think people got the bigger weapons? Because they plan on some injustice. They plan on delivering some injustice. That's why people work in the secret, trying to get, well, this might not be that interesting for the poor people. But what I'm saying is that in America here, our system is designed to do what it does. It's a system of robbery. It's a system of injustice. I don't care why you talk about a level field. I don't care what you say about a constitution. The system is a system of injustice. The evidence of it is that we got so many people in prisons. We got so many people violating so-called rules. Not to say that the rules protect any righteousness. It's just some rules that protected some ideas about some other people. But they are being violated. People are not listening to them. And you got the other suffering. All of it exists because of the system that we live under. And when I put these statements out about this system, I'm not saying anything that would justify any other human system above this system. Because in reality, my friends, my sisters, and my brothers, they are all basically the same. They just have changes in names, but they are the same. Everywhere you go, under whatever title, you got some up here. You got some in the middle. And you got some under the bottom. And they justify it. They justify it because it's not divine. They justify it because it's of man. And they make it clear that anybody that's talking about a God knows that just like a parent, just like a mother, a father got their children, there is no way that they're going to try to dress some children better than others. They're not going to try to feed some children better than others. They're not going to try to educate some children better than others. They're not going to try to dress some better than others. They're not going to try to comb some hair better. No, they're going to look after their kids. They're going to make sure every kid that walk out that door is their kid, representing them. That's what a parent going to do. And if God made us, God is going to do the same thing for us. And if it's not happening, it's not because of God. It's because of our older brothers and sisters. Our older brothers and sisters who are supposed to be making sure that we are not denied those things. They are putting their arms around them, grabbing them, keeping them from us, beating us down, killing us, because they want more. So poor people, I wish I knew what to tell you. The only thing I could tell you is what I do. And I can always say this, it doesn't work. It's not going to make anybody change their rules just because of you. If it were possible for you to get a whole bunch of you guys, you might affect some small measure. The only benefit, true benefit that you can get out of standing up is this, is that when you truly stand up on truth, your mind made up, then you really are not in a material, physical mindset. You're in a spiritual mindset. And when you come up against these struggles, all of the opposition and the stumbling blocks in a material world, when you got a spiritual mind, your mind is blessed by the divine. And so what appears to be so atrocious on the material physical side is nothing but peace and calm on the spiritual side, allowing you to go through all of what you got to go through with confidence, with joy and good feelings, because now you're not under the persuasion of the physical material world. But what you do have an effect on the material physical world. That's why they're trying to get you out of here. And because of your spiritual mindset, it's an absolute blessing to get out of here. Because of your spiritual mindset, it's like getting ready to wake up from a nightmare, because now you are being born again into life. Not that you struggle to try to do something like this. It's just that this is what it is when it comes down to a spiritual mindset. And so, poor people, maybe you can get something out of that. And maybe you can't just now. Or maybe you will never be able to. And maybe not meant to work for everybody. But I'm saying these things to you not because I'm dreaming. I'm saying these things to you because I've experienced these things. I've been to jails for what I'm telling you and acting on it. I've been to prisons for what I'm telling you and acting on it. I've accepted dishonorable separations for standing up against powers that it reflects in a negative way of what I'm telling you. And if for those of you who might say, well, why am I still here? Then I will give you this as my response. It is simply because the Spirit has chosen me to stay here in the midst of this hell to try to give you a message, to serve you, to let you know that there is another power that's much, much more powerful than all of this money. Because in the real world, where you want peace and prosperity and joy, you don't need money. You don't need money. You don't need a house with a gym built in it. You don't need property where you can have, wherever you live, a parking lot with all kind of cars. No. In the world of truth, that's clutter. In the world of truth, that's junk. They got storage facilities, parking lots, car dealerships like we see today. Those are where those things are stored, not in somebody's property close by. No, you can have those things delivered to you, switch them around as you desire, because that's the way the system of peace and prosperity and joy for all people operate. You don't need a swimming pool necessarily in your house. Why? Because, first of all, you love people. You are one with people. You want to be around people. In public swimming pools or places like that, or places where you want to be. Why? Because you are a joy to be around. That's what I'm talking about. But you can't see that now. So let me just close this. I'm probably just going on and on. But I still hope I know everything I said got some value to somebody. This is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate for basic human rights for all people. Say bye-bye.